5, Obama. And me, I watched this. I rewound it a little bit. Just to, he said something that got my attention. And let me play the clip or play the part.
When Trayvon Martin was first shot, I said that this could have been my son. Another way of saying that is Trayvon Martin could have been me 35 years ago.
They talked about, can you imagine what it might mean to be in the other person's shoes, and in this case, African American shoes, and why there was such enormous hurt and pain and grief.
There are very few African American men in this country who haven't had the experience of being followed when they were shopping in a department store. That includes me. There are very, very few African American men who haven't had the experience of walking across the street and hearing the locks click on the doors of cars. That happens to me, at least before I was a senator.
When you put a person that's in the highest office, a position in the world, in the shoes of someone who's just shot and killed essentially for being black, it just, like, it makes you think about things differently. It shined a bigger light on the prejudices that exist in our country.
I don't want us to lose sight that things are getting better, and that along this long, difficult journey, we're becoming a more perfect union. Not a perfect union, but a more perfect union.
Now, it's hard to be a leader and having such an important moment. You got people's hearts on, really hurt because blacks see a Trayvon and it brings so much hurt to many in the black community. You look at the different things, the tragedies that come up in black community, right? Drugs, people going to prison for life, and murders and rapes and all the bad that can happen. And you see a tragic thing like this, and he puts it in a way where it's our son, our black community, and our a son in our black community. It's emotional for a lot of blacks, right? At the very end, he talks about, what did he say about the country? I'll let you watch that. I heard a story of a World War II story. I told it in my vlog or my typings before. It's a World War II story. I probably won't get it exactly right, but it's the paradigm that's important. There was a man that took care of children during World War II. A German officer that was in charge, high-ranking officer. He was so bloodthirsty. He saw this man that took care of children in an orphanage. He knew that they needed kids to be taken care of. So this guy was kind of valuable to their war effort in a sense. He could be useful. He told the useful guy that takes care of children, he says, go get your son. He talked to him. I assume he found he had a fast question and found he had a family. He said, bring me your son, your oldest son. Well, the guy went and got his son. They were all under guard. The guns, and went and got his son. He said, your son is going to die in your place. I need you but your son's going to die, and murdered him in cold blood in front of his father, the caretaker of the children. Many years later, in Nuremberg, after the war, in the Nuremberg trials, this officer was up for war crimes against humanity. That humble man of God that took care of the children, where his son was brutally murdered in front of him by that high-ranking German officer. He went to his trial and he asked the court, he said, please give the German SS officer, the SS German officer, to me to live with. I want to care for him. Don't kill him in his trial and kill him for his crimes. Give him to me. As the story goes, this SS officer, his very life was saved by the very man that he killed the son. He went to live with this Christian, and they became best friends, and the SS officer became a Christian. Now, Obama could have taught everyone an important lesson on love and forgiveness, and how the Creator, God, views us. He could have showed us that we all sin and fall short of the glory of God. And it says, if you don't forgive your neighbor of their trespasses, God won't forgive you of your trespasses. I think a very important thing in life to learn is to forgive others of their evil deeds, because you, in fact, have your own long list of evil deeds.